Now, in Washington, a ceremony to mark the signing of a deal normalising relations between Israel, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain has taken place at the White House, presided over by President Trump, who said it was the dawn of a new Middle East. The Gulf states are just the third and fourth Arab countries to recognise Israel. But the Palestinians have urged other Arab states not to follow suit, while their conflict remains unsolved. Our North America editor Jon Sopel has the story.
Since the founding of the State of Israel in 1948, only 2 Arab countries have made peace with Israel. Today at the White House, that number doubled as the UAE and Bahrain were brought together by Donald Trump to sign an agreement to normalise relations with the country. The signatures on the page took only a few seconds, but it had taken decades to get here. And for Donald Trump, with one eye on the forthcoming presidential election and another on his place in history, this was a sweet moment, a significant foreign policy victory.
We're here this afternoon to change the course of history. After decades of division and conflict, we mark the dawn of a new Middle East. Thanks to the great courage of the leaders of these 3 countries, we take a major stride toward a future in which people of all faiths and backgrounds live together in peace and prosperity.
For Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, whose political fortunes have gone through similar gyrations as Donald Trump's, this was a welcome relief from the domestic pressures of scandal and COVID.
To all of Israel's friends in the Middle East, those who are with us today and those who will join us tomorrow, I say, Assalamu alaikum. Peace unto thee. Shalom.
There's no cheering for the deal in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, where many Palestinians feel betrayed by these 2 Gulf nations, signing a deal with Israel before any agreement is reached on the future of the Palestinian people. And Israel says rockets were fired onto their soil by militants in Gaza. But no apology for making peace from the UAE or the Bahrainis today.
The declaration supporting peace between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the State of Israel is an historic step on the road to genuine and lasting peace, security and prosperity across the region and for all who live there.
There are still many questions about how these new relationships will develop, but the reality is that these Gulf nations have already been dealing with Israel through back channels for some time. This formalises a new relationship, though today's signing is no less important for that. The most important words that Donald Trump spoke today were "more will follow." In other words, he clearly believes there are other Arab nations who are ready to sign up to some kind of peace deal with Israel. Now, a lot of people scoffed when Donald Trump said he would try to bring peace to the region. It's not the deal of the century that he talked about at the outset, and some will say there are less to the accords than meet the eye. But in a region more used to setbacks, today is undoubtedly progress. Hugh.
John, many thanks again. Jon Sopel, our North America editor at the White House.